the walrus into the tardigrade, which is absolutely not the celebrity deathmatch that you ever thought you were going to see. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's getting to be a little bit chillier around here, hence the sweatshirt. It wasn't too long ago that I was sweating to death on stream, and it cooled off very quickly. I mean, we did have a lot of rain the other day. We'll see how the weather continues, but that's things that people don't care about. Felt great today at 75. I don't know what the temperature was. It says it's 74 here now, but where I stream, the temperature always seems to be weird, so I'm not really sure. But it was definitely cooler, and I'm appreciative for that because I can't take the heat. I'm not doing the heat thing. I'd move to Alaska if I could. Just have it be cold and dark all the time, and I'd be very happy. But can't control those things. So, chat, we got viewer games. We got Phobies viewer games on deck. We're going to be watching some games tonight. We do have a bunch of dupes. We're going to see how many we have to do as we get into things. But as we're getting into things, now is as good a time as any to remind everybody that I am, of course, part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does, in fact, give me coffee for producing Phobies content. That includes, hey, these streams, these viewer games, which are, if you are interested in getting your own game on stream, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord, link for that in the description. That's, of course, also where you can join Monster of the Week. That's our weekly tournament series for Phobies. Free to play, free to join, and you get coffee just for participating. Everything's set to level 1, by the way, also. Throwing that out there. But let's get into the games, chat. Let's see what people are cooking. First game of the evening here, we've got killerfrost as our hero. What are the notes for this game? Alligator was not it. I feel like that is true on many occasions. Like that's generally accurate. Alligator is going to be it on, like, 2 maps. Maybe some other scenarios. Like, there's a world where I could see alligator being valuable into a tractor for the same reason that Quagmire, Cerberus, Glob, those sort of things are, but it's not going to be your first choice if you have other options. So, we'll see how this goes. This is Always Watching, which is a highly aggressive map, and I've saw a lot of notes. Our hero's dropping a little phantom on us, or on bad guy, as it were. I saw a lot of people when this rotated back in commenting varying, very aggressive, very quick games. And to be honest, I'm not surprised at all. Like, yeah, that seems completely reasonable that that's happening. Bad guy notably decided not to take this bottom panic point, which is... it's a play you can make. It is, in fact, a play you can make. Like, I don't know why the cat moved to the center. I guess they want to flip this panic point, and they feel like they can pressure right now, which, I mean, they do have a board position. This is kind of the counterplay that we talked about before for Phantom and Phantom-like Phobies, where you need to be able to bully the player who put whatever the thing is, the Phantom, the Akira, the Attractor, the whatever. You need to be able to bully them right out of the gate as soon as that thing hits the board, because they're supposed to be taking a tempo hit now for a very powerful payoff later. So you want to punish them while you have the window. That is always easier said than done. And as we can see here, while the Spud is in position, and I guess this Maggie's also getting geared up, we got Phantom and Gonzo alongside Jinsting ready to shoo this offense away. I think bad guy needed to commit to, like, just flip the panic point if you're going to flip the panic point. Don't pull the cat back. Like, you should have already been in position. Like, the cat should have already claimed that other panic point. If you're already if you pulled it back, like, to the center, just take the aggressive panic point even if you're going to lose it. Like, commit to the bit. Evo 2.0 is the follow-up. Now we got an erratic in conjunction with the Phantom means that, yeah, that Hevo's going to have to beat feet. You'll have a boop available, but that Phantom's going to drop erratic right back in your lap. That being said, 3-1 panic point advantage for bad guy. Chad, it took me forever to fall asleep last night. Like, straight up took me forever. It was bad. So I'm very tired. The transition from, like, my work week schedule to my streaming schedule has been getting harder and harder, I'm not gonna lie. It's been getting significantly more difficult to try and do that. Alright, we're getting a pick on our hero's tickles here. 3-1 panic point advantage, once again going to bad guy. But as mentioned, we're just kind of bullying them out of this position. As long as our hero doesn't forfeit one of their more powerful phobies for freezies, which is going to be kind of challenging to do at this point, they should be able to steal this position back. Oh, the double kill here. Erratic on cleanup. How are we taking down the stabby, though? Like, are we, like, super over-leveled or something? Oh, you're just going for it. All right, well, I mean, there's really nothing that bad guy can do from the position they're in order to threaten. Like, the stabby's gonna die, so you might get the snowball, but probably not. And admittedly, this Phantom was also pretty safe, despite the commitment. Okay, they are going to get the snowball, but that obviously means snowball trades for stabby. I guess you take that. You are at an advantage here. Alright, you got a sheeping gas. Sure. The thing is, you're only going to connect with one thing, and the erratic may be able to heal through it. But it doesn't look like our hero's interested in making that exchange. Because you could have Phantom the erratic closer to get double hits on the Hevo, but there probably just wasn't enough damage. It would have been a ton of damage, but not quite enough to take down the Hevo, and without the Hevo kill, it's probably not worth taking the hit. And it's possible the erratic dies anyway between the Spud, a stimmed up Ginsting, and the sheep hit. Unlikely, though. So here is the aforementioned alligator. Four keys to 5 remaining. There's a Blasto on the board for our hero, and I just don't... Like, bad guy's team just looks bad. You ever look at a Phobies team? You're just like, a team is bad. Like, that is not a team that I want to go to battle with. Yikes. Sheeping gas. Cooked. Alright, we do get the Phantom for the electric damage, but not from Erratic. It's from Blasto. That's over 1,600 damage going down. And that Hevo has definitely had better days. Like, bad guy just kind of doesn't have anything good on the board. Like, okay, so there are solid Phobies, but there's nothing like, oh no, that thing's going to take over the game. It's like, nah, you're just going to die. He'll take a little bit, but you just kind of see the writing on the wall 10 turns before it happens. In this case, pretty much literally. Phantom does go down, but it got its one good... And, like, bad guy's set up for a Blom here, plus the erratic splash. I just... Yikes. Blom. It's even funnier because you're going to get the splash hit onto the Hevo off the Blasto regular attack. Admittedly, Blasto has gotten the crap kicked out of him. But I think Blasto has kind of done its job. I think bad guy would have been better off committing... Well, there were several things bad guys should have done over the course of this game. I was going to say committing harder to the hard push. And admittedly, it's easy to say that because their heroes under 2k health, but realistically, they're just never going to die. I've talked about this before, but there are times when you're playing these sort of games that... Okay, well, I was so close to winning. I was like one action away, or whatever. But the reality is you will never get that action because of the way the game plays out. Like, if you needed just one more turn to close things out, you will never get that one turn. That's the thing. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. Like, the alligator's in position. There's 6 more turns, which means bad guy takes, like, 3 more turns. But there's no way that they can do anything. And this goes back to a discussion that I actually had on the Reddit. And by discussion, it was just like a proclamation that I made that... Because somebody posted a thread that was the effect of like, am I the asshole for surrendering these games? And my response was, why would you ever be the... Like, in what reality, I think is the way I put it, in what reality are you the asshole for surrendering? And someone's like, well, unsportsmanlike. I'm like, how is it unsportsmanlike? It's actually unsportsmanlike to not surrender. Because it's... And in this case, I get why people don't surrender, because it is the way the game systems are designed. Like, you are encouraged as the losing player to stay in the game and drag things out. Because you get punished for surrendering. But, like, this game is over. This game was over literally 12 turns ago. Why is it still going? Like, let the losing player surrender. The surrendering system needs to change. Admittedly, our hero doesn't need to do all this. But it doesn't matter. There's literally nothing bad guy could do. There is nothing they could have done to change this. Like, the die was cast long before we got to this stage. Little Superman jump action. Superhero jump action. Blammo. Down goes alligator. Boom. Roasted. GG. Get wrecked. I don't know. PG-13 is a weird rating for a movie to be in. In a PG-13 movie, you can have a pregnant woman ripped in half as long as you don't show her boobs as it's happening. I don't know if that's actually true. Like, if you show somebody literally getting torn in half, I don't think that's PG-13 violence. Or at least that wouldn't be what I would conjure to mind. Like, an implied death is one thing. So, like, there's a bunch of bad guys, and then the heroes blow up something that the bad guy... Like, they blow up the car or whatever that they're in, or they shoot a rocket at them and it blows up behind them in the distance or something like that, would be PG-13 violence. Because, like, yeah, those guys are dead. But you don't show... Like, I mentioned this the other day. I saw the newest Deadpool movie recently. And, like, there is some gratuitous violence in that movie. That wouldn't make it... Have I seen Alien Romulus? No. Is that PG-13? Are you telling me an Alien movie is PG-13? You can face hugger someone's... Why does that happen? That doesn't even make sense. Like, what? Where is this supposed to happen in the timeline? I thought it was supposed to be, like, post... Either post-Aliens, like the second movie, or between Alien and Aliens on, like, another world or something. 1 more turn is the same distance as 3 more turns if the board state is already locked up. Inevitability doesn't become less inevitable over distance. Yeah. But it's a difficult concept for people to understand, where it's like, because your human brain will tell you you were 1 turn away. But it doesn't matter. You will never get that 1 turn. Explaining the timeline would take like 5 hours. I'm very familiar with most of it. So, probably to me, it would be less complex, because I know more than most people, I think. Because, like, I do enjoy the Aliens, or Alien franchise. Alien's a super stupid series. It is and it isn't. It depends, because, like, for most people, for example, the AVP movies would be in continuity with Alien and Aliens, but they're not. They're actually a different, like, timeline. Since we have all this multiverse shit now with everything, you could call it that if you want. I will say I have not seen any of the more recent Alien ones. Any of the more recent Alien movies. So, like, that sort of stuff becomes weird to me because I don't, like, if they retconned, as I understand it, retconned the origin of the xenomorph, so. I love Alien, kinda, but it's full of dumb things and inconsistencies and retcons. Because of the more recent stuff, I think, like, I mean, Aliens, plural, was kind of a retcon to a degree, and that's the second movie. But people fondly look back on that, so they don't care that it ruined what Alien was. But they will crap on things like Alien Resurrection, which realistically was a much better movie than people give it credit for. We may or may not see some aliens in this particular game as we continue whatever we're talking about. I think I shouldn't have won this one. Well, we'll be the judge of that, kingBastos, our hero here on Pyro Abyss. I like the Alien movies when they are more action-oriented. I think they completely fail as horror movies. At no point, even when I was significantly younger than I am now, was I ever scared of the aliens. Ever. Like, Alien, the original Alien, is just not scary. And don't get me wrong, like, oh, the alien, like, he goes up in the spoiler alert for, like, what year did that movie come out? 79? Like, a 40-plus-year-old movie. Spoiler alert. When he goes up into the ducts and he flicks the lighter on, which he's doing on a spaceship, and he looks in the vent, and there's an alien there, and it jump scares you, it's like, ah, you got me! But, like, the movie is not scary. Stomach-bursting, face-ripping, etc. can all be in PG-13 movies. A lot of slasher flicks are actually PG-13, like, straight-up on-screen, people being stabbed to death. I mean, was that true in the 80s? Like, the original Friday the 13th, and all the B-80s horror movies where they have, like, it's copious amounts of gore, but it looks so bad that it's actually almost more nauseating to have the not realistic gore in those movies than it is to have realistic gore, because it's just like, it looks gross in a weird way, you know what I mean? But anyway, the point is were those rated R or were those PG-13 at the time? Like, where I'm going at it is this, because the rating board is not like a government agency, I don't think. I know the video game one is, and I don't know if the movie one is. So don't quote me on that, because I don't know. But, like, was the standard different then compared to now? Because, obviously, things change over time. This is a very early flesh crawler, speaking of horrific monsters. kingBastos. We do get an oopsie baby. Also, since our hero had suggested they should not win here, this is seemingly a fairly even stress level for the most part. Like, we're not talking, oh, well, somebody's way over or under level. This is pretty close. This is pretty close. That's a bold move there, Cotton. I'm not sure why that one happened. The 80s ones were mostly R. So did the standard change and now allows for the things, like, to be at a lower rating? I'm not a big movie person. I'm sure I've kind of given that away already. I know I've said it on stream before, but if you didn't know before, you probably do now, just from my comments tonight. So, I don't know. This is not my area of expertise. Alright, we get a little displacement action here in Miss Moffat. You know, there was another arachnophobia movie, essentially. I forget what it was called. But it came out this year, I think. But it was essentially arachnophobia, but like in an apartment building is what the trailer made it look like. Ooh, bad guy! Oh, yikes. You know what? This actually isn't that good. This actually isn't that good. You can just slide the spider to either healing spa. The flesh crawler can probably leech enough life. What are we doing here? Is this worth it? I guess this is worth it. Oh, it is. We get a 4-hit here. Take down here, take down there. We obviously are going to eliminate the sheep with the Jinn Sting. Alright, that's not bad. That's a pretty solid setup there, King. 2 keys for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it doesn't appear the bad guy's really in a position to retaliate. Like, sure, you will probably get a kill on the grave. Well, you're definitely going to get the spider. So the spider may be the gravedigger. You do think they loosened up the rating over the years? It takes a lot of violence to get an R rating. I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. I just don't know. So here's the thing. Our hero can't really commit with the flesh crawler because it will die, and I don't know if they have enough damage, because, like, I don't think you can kill the Sparky here, and that's the thing that really matters. Alright, so flesh crawler getting beat up, but still a lot of HP. I mean, those buffs definitely helped it. 1 key remaining to 9. There's still some either one singular or several nasty things that can come out of bad guy, and we're going for an erratic, which I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Questionable. Like, I get the Hevos out there, and you get a little bit of splash. The poison is now officially worn off, but that flesh crawler's probably dead. Ooh, really? Alright, the power down on the flesh crawler, that is pretty impactful, which I was expecting a little bit earlier, because now it's not going to leech nearly as much life. I don't know about this push by bad guy, though. I don't think they needed to put the Eternal Knight or the Minotaur in our hero's face like this. I can see why our hero was thinking they were going to lose. But this is going to be the decisive turn, quite obviously. This is probably a dead Sparky. Oh, yikes. That wasn't even close. Alright, so with the buff, we're back at over 600 damage, which is sizable when you're hitting 4 different things. Like, that's a big chunk of health it got back. Get the takedown on the Minotaur, Sparky goes down. You already got some significant hits on the other stuff, softening them up. Panic point advantage remains orange, though. Yo, what did Hevo do to you, bad guy? Because they are, like, hell-bent on killing this Hevo. Shove Shark No way. You're serious? You let the flesh crawler live? I mean, it's still powered down, but still. 165 damage. That's so sad. I feel as though some damage was wasted here, and you probably could have hit the A wall with bees, like the direct hit, and then the splash plus the fireball from Snowball would be enough to finish off the other option. But Either way, I don't feel like you were ever really far behind. And it kind of felt like you were ahead for parts of this game. I could definitely see in the moment where it felt like it was hopeless. But where there's a Gonzo, there's a way. Too many actions. Our hero has too many phobies left, even though bad guy has... Do they have more keys? This is 10 keys versus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. So, not technically. Our hero does have more keys worth of phobies on the board. But it's close. Shove Shark getting cooked, while Meatballs take down the Oopsie Baby. Very well played. Very well played, staying with it through the whole game. Like I said, I feel like you weren't really that far behind most of the game. There were some weird exchanges, but I think this feels very much like how the devs intended Phobies to be played, if that makes sense. Where it is about, of course, people making strategic and tactical decisions, and that the player inputs matter. But I mean more from the fact that there is a back and forth, that there is some uncertainty, because, like, okay, well, I could do the math that this dive is going to do okay, but I don't know how well, and then their counterattack is complicated and stuff like that. And I think you lose a lot of that in async, where it's like, oh, well, I could just sit there and math it all out. And I think that that makes the game way less interesting. I think putting the pressure of the time constraint, because you can still do a lot of that, and I think setting everything to level 1 is still better, because you bring it to more manageable numbers, like the arithmetic is just plainly simpler. But by adding the time constraint, it forces you to not be able to just sit there and literally whip out a calculator and figure out the optimal move. And I think that that is better for people's enjoyment for the game, even if it is more stressful. I was going to have some stress-related transition comment, but we're looking at a cheeseburger game. Yeah, that's all I got. Some Jeeves action. All right, a little Steve's action. So if you missed it last night, we did go over my haul from RetroCon of a variety of different toys. Most of them are still sitting on my desk. That's why I brought that up. I'm going to do some other photo shoots hopefully this week, but I have a tournament coming up this coming weekend, so streaming next weekend will be a little weird. Streaming for the foreseeable future will be a little weird because Space Marine unlocks tomorrow. At the time of this recording, for if you didn't buy the early access stuff, which I'm just not going to do. I'm not paying $80. Like, I plan on putting a lot of time into this game, and I'm hoping that it holds up, and it isn't just like this thing's going to crap its pants and I'm going to hate it. I've been avoiding watching streams and stuff of it, but I'm sure it'll hold up fine. And I take it back. I did watch some streams of it, and the guy I was watching was, like, crapping on the multiplayer. He's like, there's only 6 maps. And I'm like, dude, I would play multiplayer games with literally only 1 map. I don't care. Like, the more maps that a game launches with, don't get me wrong, like, you do want extra maps for variety over time if you have variety in strategies. But for most people, they're just going to do the same idiot thing, which is zone in, charge towards where everybody, like, whatever the center of the map is, and then turn it into a bloodbath. That's most people's multiplayer strategies for shooters and melee shooters, that sort of thing. I don't think that it's going to materially change things. Also, cheeseburger, why? Why? Why Temptress? I don't even know why Temptress here, like, to counter the Hevo? I don't know. Did you have a quest? Is that the reason? Either way, evening out the panic points here. Honey Bear, interestingly enough, showing up, which is... Like, is the Honey Bear to counter the Unicorn? Because if it is, that is incredibly strange. It does do this, which is kind of cute. Which is turning off panic points. It's like, okay, I can get behind that, I guess. This is weird. I mean, bad guy is calling to the A Markin strat of having Cyclops on this map, which is bizarre. But the Evo 2.0 out of our hero is certainly preventing a lot of offensive opportunities. Here's the weirdest thing, though. The weirdest thing yet. The Walrus into the Tardigrade, which is absolutely not the celebrity deathmatch that you ever thought you were going to see. But it doesn't make a lot of sense for Steve's into this. I guess, kind of. We had this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. There was a recent stream where, I forget whether it was Viewer Games or Monster of the Week, but we had somebody go Honey Bear. And then, yeah, I think it was a Honey Bear into a Fire Ant, and then, like, the Honey Bear wore off. And then all of the Fire Ant traps triggered. And it was just like this really weird scenario where, like, yeah, eventually you're going to get there kind of thing as the trap player, because there is this window where they will eventually have to do something on your side of the map or wherever they're puking. And there's going to be a bunch of traps. And here we're kind of seeing that, or we're going to see that set up shortly. So I don't, like, the Honey Bear option isn't an unreasonable response to Double Trapper, but I don't think it is the optimal one. If you're not playing aggressively, it's certainly not the optimal one because of those windows of time that are going to happen. Because, like, look at this. There's 5 traps on the board. The Honey Bear activation is down right now. You literally can't stop the traps other than activating them. On small maps, I'm still of the opinion, yeah, you can run them over with 1 keys. On larger maps, it gets significantly more difficult, and you really do need a true anti-trap tool, namely, probably another trapper. Like, if they go traps, you gotta go traps, sort of thing. Is this worth? So Klepto is gonna get traded out for Hevo. The only question is, how many more keys can our hero claim with this sequence? Because AWOL goes down. So AWOL and Hevo is 6 keys for 6 keys on the Klepto. Alright, so we're getting 3 here. Alright, spreading the damage a little bit. I like this. I don't think there's enough damage between the Pterodactyl and the Cyclops in order to actually threaten Snappy, so this allows for the Oopsie Baby to get into position. Now, bad guy can thaw the Hevo right away if they swing a Snowball out there. The issue with that is the Snowball is just... like, it's not going to thaw this quickly enough. Why the hell did bad guy just go high 5? What? What? Boop! Alright, so bad guy has to know where this trap is, right? I guess they don't have 100% certainty of where this trap is, but it should be... Should be fairly obvious, right? Alright, Snappy's taking one for the team. 4-1 panic point advantage, but our heroes certainly got... Oh, they're not even... They don't even care. Dude, this is almost a 40-turn game. A 40-turn game. Yeah, I was going to say, I like the idea of repositioning the oopsie more than another attack, because otherwise you have to spend a full turn moving the oopsie afterwards. Whereas like you can inch it up this way, depending on what bad guy does. Still over 700 damage a hit due to the Heartbreaker ability, or whatever the hell it's called. We do have a lot of one-movers on our hero's side, but bad guy can't really do a whole hell of a lot here. They can't claim this bottom panic point, so the panic points are not going to flip anytime soon. They don't have the damage to really threaten... Well, they can get this Hevo, actually. I was about to say, they don't have the damage to really threaten anything, but they are able to take down that Hevo 2.0, which is kind of a big deal. So at this point, like, the pterodactyl actually might be a serious issue. Like, how do you ever kill this? This is a way to kill it. I have no idea why the high five came back. Like, what was the point of that? I gotta admit, I feel like bad guy threw here. Maybe not that badly, but I feel like bad guy kind of threw. Like, I don't know. I wonder if bad guy just kind of lost track of the trap cooldowns, because the freeze on the pterodactyl felt... Maybe they outsmarted themselves. You know what I mean? As in, they were expecting the trap somewhere else because they were overthinking the levels of where the trap could be. I do appreciate dropping the trap for the permafreeze here, because as we'll probably see in the next couple turns, the pterodactyl will die once it turns into bones while frozen. It won't res. Bad guy claiming the panic point advantage. Lol. Yeah, at this point, the Jin Sting is too low on health to really do anything. It can't ever get on a spa without getting torn apart. Pterodactyl's trapped. This is another... The game was over several turns ago. Just let the other player surrender. Let them surrender honorably, and let us move on to the next game. Very well played. Like I said, I think the most interesting part was the honey bear interaction, the honey bear relationship with the trappers, or lack thereof, depending on how you want to look at it. But either way, GG. Well played. We know who our hero is, or I spoiled that, but I don't want to spoil exactly what happens. Trying to avoid the spoilers. We're here on Phobos. Is this even in the pool anymore? I don't think so. Noobsim, our hero here. Why Jinsting steals MVP? We'll see who should have been the MVP. I'll admit to being a Phobos hater. Kind of from day one. But I think Moai was the real, full disclosure, terrible map all along. Moai is a terrible map. I don't know that Phobos is a good map either, but I think Moai is actually worse. Does bad guy take the bait here? They do not. The bait is you kill Sarcasm with Ginsting and then leap with Cassowary off the stem, but you can't accomplish anything by doing that. So now it flips into our hero's court. Will they take the bait with the Noxious and Ginsting in range of, well, our hero's Ginsting? Huh. I mean, this isn't terrible. The Noxious Spit here, I don't know that it should kill the Boomer. And it'll come back before it really matters again, so I think this is fine burning it. Even though it's seemingly pointless. This is kind of cute. You don't kill the Ginsting, but you put a significant hurt on it and kind of trap it because it can't actually escape. No matter what, it can get chased down by our hero's Hevo, so I like this aggressive push here. Like, it would be incredibly difficult to try and save this Ginsting. We are going to make an attempt, though. Let's see if our hero commits to it. Oh, Klopster action. I guess that Noxious hit is fine. Like, you should kill the Cassowary if they stay. So our hero's taking a chance here. Bad guy can claim the bottom left panic point and push 2 threatening Phobies, 2.5 if you count the one that's taking the panic point, to threaten the heart. So our hero astutely breaks the block and then drops a Klepto in for defense. I wonder if it would have been better to... 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you could have just, like, sent all 4 of these. The Hevo, the Cassowary, the Ginsting, and the Klopster. Because I think the Klopster was in range. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm not going to. In order to jump the Klepto. Like, just kind of commit to it. Admittedly, the Ginsting is still beat to hell, so it probably dies. But I wonder if you could have gotten the Klepto with those 4 hits. Probably not. At level 1, I don't think you do. Ladder-wise, who knows? Onion boy! Smells like desperation. Or does it? On a large map, I mean, maybe. Maybe. Bees! That's a pretty good attack there by our blue player, claiming the lives of Cassowary and the opposing Ginsting that was hanging around there, backing things up with Klepto. I feel like the Klepto might have been able to be positioned better. Would it be better if it was below the Ray? I'm not sure. But either way, bad guy's backing off, probably appropriately in this instance. Metabot. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? That doesn't seem like what you want to do. Admittedly, there was no way to retreat further in order to get the Clinico. Like, that, this is the healer you'd have to use. I guess you could Boolean. But, like, I think you run the risk of just dying to the Ray plus Hevo hits. Ugh. Yeah, I'm pretty wiped, chat. This is now becoming a regular occurrence, like I said. I gotta figure out what I gotta do when I switch to the streaming schedule for weekends. Like, what I gotta do different, because I guess the answer is just don't stay up as late or something. But the big problem is actually, I think it's less about the staying up late, because, you know, I'll stay up later after the stream and stuff like that. Either I'm doing editing work or I'm just, you know, still kind of wired, whatever. But it's more that I still wake up on my workday schedule. So I get, like, 3 hours of sleep. It's bad. Is that really necessary? I guess it's fine, but I don't know what that's doing. Okay, so it does two things, this Gravedigger block. Well, maybe more than two, but the two I'll highlight is there's a chance that the Creepy Devil was there, and you just killed it. Obviously it didn't. But there was a chance. So aside from the Creepy Devil just being there, it could also lock out the Creepy Devil from sliding up that way. Or, 3... I guess I'll give you 3. It could have trapped the Creepy Devil in with you, thereby forcing it to try and, like, sprint out of there or risk becoming exposed. Well, we now know where Creepy Devil is, at least temporarily. The dive is on. That was an anemic Creepy Devil. Ah, so everything's at level 1. That was anemic. Alright, what's our hero got? I mean, Noxious is dead. It's really just a matter of how many other things they can take down with it. Because the counterattack from bad guy will be fairly strong. That sucks if you had to do the main hit there instead of taking it out with bees, but what can you do? Not a bad exchange there, I don't think. Because you can burrow, yeah. Alright, so you get the Klepto. But Hydra's in range of both of these, and you can rearrange or reposition your range guys. That hurts, though. Interesting that we're going for these center guys. stabby, kind of putting the clamps. Oh, I didn't even mean to make a pun there, but like, they're putting the clamps on the offense, like clamping down. But I guess the crab claws could be clamps too. I wish I had something more interesting to say about this exchange. I just don't know, like, this is kind of weird, and it does feel like bad guy is in a winning position until you consider the hard health. This map, and I think this is... That was weird. There's something about Phobos where it does feel like the panic point damage can sneak up on you more so than it does on other maps. Which is odd, because, like, that shouldn't happen. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. But it is what it is. GG. Like I said, we had a bunch of dupes. Not duplicate games, but submissions by the same people, so I'm trying to make sure we spread them out before we get into that. You know, it's been a while since we had Hoploy as a bad guy, but apolloknox, who I believe is new to game reviews here on Rush Hour. Notes? None. It actually says the word none, not... not that it was empty. It's none. So, the old Hoploy monster, huh? I think that speaks for itself. So does this. Turn 1 Phantom. Alright, we need to let our hero get a few more phobies on the board, because, like, alright, level 7 Phantom... I get it. I can understand why you'd still put that out there. I don't know that I'd put it out first. How is this game shorter than the last one? This is a Rush Hour game. That's wild. Alright, Firkin as the counter. I, honest to God, don't remember the last time I saw somebody try Firkin against Phantom. I don't know that it's a good answer. Alright. I don't know that this is a good answer either. Like, why are we going with Cerberus here? I don't think I agree with this one. Seems weird. Bad guy continuing their inexorable march towards connecting Phantom and Firkin. So, Repeller... I think Repeller's fine here. Repeller makes sense just because you can play You Can't Touch This with respect to the Cerberus. And given that you already have Firkin on the board to try and threaten the Phantom, you can kind of keep it in a position where they can't really get the Cerberus to connect with your team. Or shouldn't, anyway. But there is a Shove Shark in addition... What? Okay, that's a high five. I will say this. There is an element of... You know what? I'm just going to play big dumb idiots. And they're going to punch stuff good. Because... Why not? You're already down by a lot of levels. These might be... Okay, I just want stat sticks. Additionally, they are kind of a pseudo counter to Firkin because you can't turn them off. But I don't know that I love this. I just don't know about high five. I guess it's fine. He does have enough stats that it's possible that it's okay. But you're getting your Cerberus picked off, or picked apart here. Shove Shark for bad guy. Into the Frosty. Alright, plays are about to happen. You can smell it. The plays are happening and they are stinky. Something like that. I don't know. I mean, I guess they would probably be stinky considering that there's a significant amount of reanimated bodies on the board. Until that happened. Now the plays are in fact stinky because you can't phantom them in. That is doo-doo. Akira out of bad guy, assembling the dream team of bad guys. Are we shoving? I was about to say, that's the weird visual bug with Shove Shark, but it just caught me off guard for a second. Bad sheep. I gotta say that, like, the high five and the Cerberus do make it a little awkward to try an Akira, but bad guy has, like, a freakish amount of levels, so probably doesn't matter. In fact, high five is cooked. Hero with 0 keys, bad guy with 1. Is this bad sheep enough? Connects with a lot of phobies, I will say that. Like, that's pretty solid. That's kind of a big deal. Being able to save the Frosty onto that healing spot so it isn't exposed there is significant. You don't really care about the bad sheep at this point. It's done what it was there to do. Admittedly, you could say kind of the same about the Phantom, because the Phantom drew the Firkin. But this boop here is kind of annoying. Yikes. Akira healed up and cured of poison. But if you can take down the Chuck, it's probably good enough. It's probably good enough. Phantom slapping the crap out of Chuck. Gotta kill the Repeller, right? Oh, really? Oh, this will kill the Repeller. No, it'll kill the Shove Shark. Never mind. Repeller is on cooldown, so I guess that's the thought process here. But bad guy suddenly down to 3 phobies. Notably, one is beat to crap. Even with that many levels, I just don't think you have the damage output. This was very well played by our hero. Being able to set things up to be picked off. A divide and conquer strategy, so to speak. Notably without the assistance of Phantom. However, bad guy is putting in the effort. 41 health, huh? Dude, are we just gonna not kill this thing? Does it die to the fire? The lava? If this doesn't die to the lava... Okay. I was gonna say, like, what is happening? Frosty in a dream. Yikes, even our hero's heart is taking a beating. One more shove for good measure. Oh, Frosty. Alright. I cannot say that bad guy played exceptionally well. But I don't think it is unimpressive that our hero was able to pull this out. Frosty or not, that was very well played. GG. You gotta take those wins, chat. Alright, hold on a second, chat. I'll be right back. Alright, chat, I'm back. Just a quick break there. I need to get up, stretch my legs for a second. Only halfway through this evening, chat, but we are moving at a pretty good clip, all things considered. Let's see, what do we got here? Didn't favorite the game! We haven't had one of these in a while. Do I need to make, like, a wall of shame for people that don't favorite the games? I feel like I gotta make a wall of shame for that. And our first addition to the wall of shame of not favoriting your game is our hero, Dama. Stabby Spa MVP. Let's see what we got here. Back on Rush Hour, this would be a map that I would ban people from submitting replays on if I were to do it. I'm not going to do that, but it is a map I would consider it. Because this map sucks. I hate this map. Who was it? Was it Urk that was doing the Gargles Chuck thing? And, like, it's weird, because on one hand, it's like, oh, that's a unique strategy, especially for this map. And that's kind of fresh and interesting. Except the entire premise of it is, I'm going to set up a wall and put Chuck behind it. And it's like, okay, we're just going to stare at each other. And obviously the devs were in on the joke when they designed it by naming it Rush Hour. They knew. I am tired, Chad. So we get the Stabby onto the spa very early. Daisy had a bad guy, which is kind of abnormal. You just don't really see Daisy a lot. I think you should see Daisy more. But it's not really a common phobie. So, Chad, I posed this question elsewhere. Might as well throw it out there here for YouTube comments and live stream chat. Which, if you want to watch a live stream, check the link in the description. What do you think Phobies needs right now? Like, in your heart of hearts, what do you think the top 3 things Phobies needs right now? Because I've been thinking about doing a video on it, and spoiler alert, balance is not one of the top 3 things. To be a different game. I don't think that helps it, honestly. Like, unless you have a time machine. When you're saying be a different game, I'm assuming you mean, like, change genres or something. Because to me, I think the biggest things that I was going to do the video on are the usual economic problems, which covers a variety of different topics, but the economic problems, marketing, and then kind of general new player onboarding. Matchmaking would probably be part of this. Number one things Phobies needs is a time machine confirmed. I think most games would probably want that. Including whatever that one that closed this week was. Or is it closed next week? Whatever. You know what's funny is that whole controversy about that game launching and then being closed within 2 weeks of launching is like... I, honest to God, didn't even know that game existed. So everyone's making this big deal out of, oh my God, this flop just came out and then they closed the doors less than 2 weeks later and Sony sucks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even know that that the game existed. Concord, it closes today? Yeah, Concord. I don't know when it closes, but it's soon. If it hasn't already. The economic problem makes the game nearly unplayable for new players. There are no on-ramps. Yes. Well, what's funny is, like, there are plenty of on-ramps, I guess, but there's no... You're immediately getting into the famed California terrible traffic. You know, where it's like, my 5-mile commute to work takes 7 hours. Or something like that. Brony! Why is the stabby? Yeah, alright, I get it. Wait, bad guy. Bad guy, do you not know how Brony works? Bad guy, do you not know how Brony works? Dude, how do you... I don't know how many people out there have seen the movie Super Troopers. But there's a scene where one of the guys, they just get a close-up of his face, and he just goes, Mother of God. And that is basically what just happened. Do you not know how Brony works? I mean... You know what's funny is, like, our hero didn't even get a great Brony out of this. I think they could have gotten away... Like, this wasn't even that good. Because they killed 2 of the guys that they were going to Brony. Which is naturally better than depowering them. But then, would there not have been a better... 1, 2, 3, still could have hit... Like, there had to have been a better way to position your stuff so that you turn these 2 off and not one of these. But either way, bad guy had, like that was a bad turn for bad guy. And it's probably going to be even worse now. At the end of the day, 2 key components died, and then 2 are depowered for a couple turns. So, our hero's in a great position. But that definitely felt like bad guy didn't read Brony until after they clicked the end turn button. Thing is, the game is like chess, sort of. It's not like a CCG. With CCG, I can buy a deck I want to, and I'm on. In this game, I need to acquire most of the pieces before I can even play for real, and there isn't a button to do that. Yep. The economic situation will always be the biggest issue with Phobies. Until the game changes, and that will not happen. And again, I'm a content affiliate. They're not going to tell me this stuff. But, like, they're not going to change the economic model. Other than Diablo 3, what other games in the modern era have, like, dramatically changed their economic model post-launch? There are a number of games that went from being a paid-for game to free-to-play, because it's like, it's either that or the doors close. But that doesn't necessarily, like, directly benefit the players. Whereas I think what Phobies would need to do would directly benefit the players in a way that they can't do because they would end up losing money. Like, I guess where I'm going with this is what games have changed their economic model dramatically, and it would have been a net negative for the company. Just throw it in the spreadsheet, Onda. We'll probably get to it tonight. Varia did the opposite, funny enough. It went from free-to-play to 20 bucks to get all the cards. That's a really pathetic klepto due to the power down. That's funny. The thing about changing it from free-to-play to paid for in that way, that probably does qualify because that likely earns the company less money. It likely earns the company less money overall. Because free-to-play generally makes more money. I wonder why they did that. I'd be curious to hear why they did that. Because most games that I hear about them changing the economic model is going the other way because, like, they can't justify... Like, nobody was buying it, essentially. So if they kick it to free-to-play, they'll have more players by accident. You know what I mean? This brony is... If this brony goes off again, I'm gonna laugh. But there is a very much alive Plaid and Oopsie Baby with things in range. Like, this game was over several turns ago, like we were talking about. Maybe free-to-play was making zero money and they figured 20 bucks is better than nothing. That assumes that there's enough people out there that haven't played it already that are interested in playing. Like, that's the problem with that sort of model, is that... GG there, Dama. A lot of people probably tried the game, and if they're like, well, this game isn't for me... They're not going to come back and spend $20 to play a game that they already played for free that they know they don't like. And you are, like, by definition, the hurdle to get over is lower in a free-to-play game. To, like, just get in and start playing. Than it is if you pay something, because there's plenty of people who balk at a computer game that is not free. So I'd be very interested to see what went into why they did it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bronze Elf. Alright, so we'll do Onda's game after this, because that is... The rest of the games in the spreadsheet right now are repeats. Like, people that we've already had on, so... Had on for tonight, that is. So Phobos is once again our host, Bronze Elf. The guy didn't do a whole lot, but the 2-key Morty put in some work. 2-key Morty? You mean Droney? I, honest to God, have never heard someone refer to Droney as the 2-key Morty. Like, what? That's funny. That's funny. The 9-key Hevo 2.0. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, but it's the other way. It's the 5-key Hevo 3.0. It's the 3-key werewolf. Like, that's just such a funny way to describe it. 2-key Morty sounds way too close to Turkey Morny, which is one of the most disgusting... What? First of all, no. That is like... I'm not sure by what definition that's close. The more I say it in my head, like, the closer it's getting, but I feel like I'm engineering that. Like, my brain is filling the gaps to make that sound close. But, like, I've never heard of this dish before. Do I need to look this up after the game? Do I want to know what this dish is? Turkey Morny. That sounds like... Okay, Turkey Morny sounds like a book that you would give, like, a 6-year-old to explain what death means. Like, turkey goes morning! Like, that's what that sounds like. I thought I had the intro for this one, but that one's gonna be better. Turkey morning. It's what happens the day after Thanksgiving. It's that bland turkey and noodle dish you probably had in school that nobody makes at home. I honest to God don't remember that. Maybe I blocked it out. Yo, the snipe from Bad Guy with the bomb. Our hero being lazy. We haven't seen a beauty in a while, chat. Yoink. And we didn't see this beauty for very long, either. I think most people would trade a jar. What else was it? It was a jar and something else, right? No. It was a jar and, like, a 1 key. For beauty. Also, we were busy talking about turkey, and I didn't even see what the droney did. Like, what did the droney do? What did the droney do? I honest to God didn't see it because we were busy talking about the turkey morning, whatever the hell this is. I feel compelled to look this up, and I feel like I'm going to regret it. I feel like I'm going to hate myself after I look it up. Bland turkey and noodles. I honestly don't think I've ever had this. One of these days, I'm going to edit together all of the intros from the various streams. Like, when I move the weird clips to the front, I'm going to cut all those out and splice them all into one long video, because I think it'd be very funny to have, like, all these bizarre, out-of-context quotes. Actually, looking it up, it's actually spelled Mornay. And it's just like turkey and a buttery onion gravy. The fact that school serve it with noodles is actually bizarre. That's atypical. Turkey with onion gravy. That sounds more familiar. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like the rubber chicken dinners that you would get at sports or school functions, where it's like, you know, invite the families for the trophy handouts at the end of the year for, like, whatever your sports team is. Is Bad Guy just, like, obsessed with feeding their high-key phobies into a wood chipper? This is now the second 8 key that they're just throwing to the wolves. But, like, I remember going to a bunch of those as a kid, and it was always, like, the rubber chicken dinners. Where it was, you know, because there would be, like, 200 families. So there would be a ton of people. Or, like, 100, 200 families. And it would be like, okay, they need to mass produce 80,000 cutlets. So, like, in retrospect, you shouldn't really expect much else, right? Like, they're just not gonna be very good. And they weren't. They were bad. Like, real bad. Alright, so Droney has picked a couple things off. Honestly, I thought Bad Guy was pointing out, like, their Droney did something cool. Bad Guy, or, that our hero was pointing out that Bad Guy's Droney did something good, but it's actually our hero's Droney that's putting in work, I think. I don't think the Droney is really the reason here, though. Bad Guy just said, hey, it's like playing golf. I'm gonna give you a 16-key handicap and just feed you beauty and feed you boss and say... Like, they're playing challenge mode. I do love the attack animations for Microscopic and Gesundheit. I think it's pretty cool. Down goes bad guy. Well played. Well played, bad guy? Kind of? I don't know. GG. Alright, we got an Onda game. So there's a lot of notes here. Alright, Onda is our hero here. Kars told me to submit this game. He said, good for discussion. I don't really know what makes it good, but he said the topic will be about playing many displacement ability phobies. I imagine, until we see the game, we'll see if this is true. I imagine it's to point out that if you have too many utility phobies, which I would put displacement phobies into that category, as opposed to phobies that, like, they're actually for fighting, you can still screw up your team. And you aren't actually able to complete the game. And this is where the complaints about many of, like, the attractors of the world, or Phantom, even, or Shove Shark, although a lot of people seem okay with Shove Shark being overpowered in this context, that they are... Phobies of this type should be crap when it comes to fighting. So if you build your whole team out of them, it's like, yeah, you can do all these tricks, but you can't actually accomplish anything. But you do need some amount of tricks in order to beat, you know, the big dumb idiots that punch stuff good. But there has to be a trade-off where you can't be a big dumb idiot that punches stuff good and also have a lot of cool tricks. I assume that's where this is directed at. We shall see. Another Rush Hour game, which is weird. Because Rush Hour, once again, this map sucks. Bad guy, fairly standard. Our hero, also kind of standard. The healing spas allow for setup on, you know, different attacks, like this Hevo being more aggressive, because who cares? Like, you can just heal it up. Panic point advantage, a blue. No, panic point's tied. Excuse me. Incorrect. The one toy I have on my desk is, like, staring at me. The skeleton that I showed off yesterday, he's, like, staring into my soul. Because he has gold eyes. It's actually kind of unsettling. He also has a weird face. Like, I don't know what the skull is supposed to be. It's clearly not a human skull. Alright, so we do get Phantom. One of the displacement tools... staring down a tractor, the other one that came down earlier. 10 keys banked up for our hero, 7 for bad guy. Plenty of room on both player sides, which this is something that's notable, and I stopped pointing it out a while ago, but, like, occasionally you'll hear me count out the number of phobies available or comment on, oh, they maxed out, or they have the options to do this or that, but realistically, when you watch players at this level, like Zaffrai and Onda, it is rare that they're going to max out until they're ready. Yikes! We get an Akira stare down. I have a pen on my desk because I use it for work stuff sometimes. I found that when I'm thinking, I click a lot, and I'm pretty sure it has to be annoying to be in the room with me just clicking the pen. I have a lot of clicky pens, and I do the same thing. I do it even when I'm not, like, actively thinking, though. Like, I'll just be sitting there clicking a pen for the hell of it. And yes, it does annoy the shit out of some people. I think most people, it doesn't bother them until they hit a threshold, and then, like, it completely unhinges them. It's not like, oh, this is annoying, and it gets progressively annoying. I feel like most people don't even hear it until it's annoying, and then it's like, no, I can't take it at all. Alright, so we're trading 1 keys, waiting for the Akira battle to commence. Kaboom! And on to signature. Now, Onda's been doing this for a very long time. Onda knows, like, and probably can visualize and therefore manifest everything that they want to have happen. Because, like, look at this. Would you look at this? Would you look at this? Yikes! Oh my god. Okay, so my initial hypothesis as to what the purpose of this game was trying to teach us, not that. Not that. This game is just over, by the way. Like, there's just no getting out of this for our orange player. Like, great. You've now diseased 2 things. It doesn't matter. There's still an attractor on the board. And on to... Even assuming that Ginsting and Akira do literally nothing else for the rest of this game, there's still an attractor, Hevo, Stabby, and Shove Shark, plus 7 keys. We'll see what Papa Karsa had in mind about this game, because I have no idea why this is a good game. I mean, I think the play was really cool. And I think that if you were just trying to point out, like, oh, well, here's the setup for, like, a good player can visualize where these things can happen, or how these things can happen, even against other good players. But I'm also not really clear on what... I don't want to make it sound mundane, but we've seen you, like, really abuse people on with kabooms many times. So it's like, I kind of expect when I see one of your games that I'm going to see a boom, kerbloom, or kaboom just ruin someone. But it feels like that's just making it very mundane. And it's like, no, it's still a really cool play. So it feels bad to be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, because Onda does this every game. Because most people can't do that. So yeah, I don't know exactly what Karst is trying to point out here, other than the explosiveness or the explosive potential of these sort of things. Which, I mean, that is notable. Especially on this map, given how stalematey this map can be. And this is... So I don't know if Karst is trying to say, like, well, this is why these sort of phobies... Because I've joked about this before. This is why Attractor needs a buff, and why Akira needs a buff, and why every broken phobia you can think of needs a buff, because they immediately resolve the potential for stalemates, which is what happened here. Like, we've seen tons of these games, even some tonight, where the games kind of stalemate on rush hour. These phobies don't let that happen. Like, because they kind of just... It is possible to still stalemate, like we've seen this in Attractor mirrors and Akira mirrors and stuff like that, but it's still hard because it makes the game very challenging for both players. But either way, GG. Yeah, Karst will have to let us know what the focus for that one is, because I don't quite get it. All right, so we're looping back to the top here. And once we get to our 10 for tonight, we'll probably call it, because I gotta try and go to sleep. It's gonna be a tough work week. Alright, we're back with another killerfrost game. Mistakes are made when Brute Worst is MVP. Jesus Christ. What is happening? Chad, I got to sit and watch some football today. I was very excited. Football is back. It makes me happy. Notre Dame lost yesterday. That made me even happier. I don't even care that the Giants are losing, because they're just... Here's the thing. A few seasons ago, the Giants literally started to make me hate football because they are so bad. Like, it's one thing when your team is bad, and it's like, oh, they're bad, but in a fun way somehow. Or you have something, like one of the players can do something exciting, or is responsible for, like, keeping the games close. Like, oh, well, there's hope because we're losing, but, oh, if we fix these one or two things, we could be winning a lot of these games, and we could turn it around, we can make the playoffs, we can make a deep run, we could do whatever. There is nothing to be excited about. They're just fucking boring. They are boring and bad, and it's like, I can't watch the games because of where I am, geographically, and it's just asinine. Like, I have to pay for all these different services and stuff to to watch it legally. And I'm not going to pay all that stuff, so I just don't watch the games, because I know that they're not worth watching, so I just don't care. So I just watch the games that I can watch, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy some football. Phantom. Into primate number 9? You fool! Just kidding. I don't know. They're... You know what's interesting? So a lot of people have asked for map creator, or map creation tools, like mod tools, essentially, in Phobies, which I think would be good. I think it would be good. I think it would be interesting. I would love to have, like, a custom map pool through, like, we design the maps for Monster of the Week and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. You can do that in real-time strategies all the time. Like, they have map editors. But what I think would be cool, because I was looking at this other game called The Corpsman recently, and it reminded me of an old game called Impossible Creatures. Dude, brute worst! Wait, what? Oh, only the ability is AoE. Holy shit. I thought this guy's regular attack was AoE. How is it possible that Brute Worst is even worse than I thought it was? Like, dude. Come on. How is this Phobie so bad? I can't believe this connected, though. This is actually sick. This is actually sick. But to finish my thoughts, so we can give proper attention to this terrible sausage. This thing just looks gross when you realize that the bottom part is like the sausage folded underneath itself. That's actually gross when you think about it. But, so, even aside from map-making tools, or map creation tools, I think there should be Phobie creation tools. I would like there to be. Not that there should, but I would like there to be Phobie creation tools. Not even that, like, oh, you can create net new abilities. You know, like, you don't have to be able to create the new electric tile or create a new Phobie ability that doesn't exist yet. I'm saying take all of the existing Phobie tools and then it would have a native calculator to, like, oh, well, with this ability and this type of Phobie and this other attribute, that would result in health, attack, damage, movement, whatever. And it would give you sliders and things to adjust it. I think that would be cool as a creation thing, and then you just wouldn't be able to use it on ladder. But I think it would be fun to do. Maybe even use them in frenemies or something, and then they would look like a Frankenstein monster, where it's like, oh, because you chose an undead with lob, it gets the arms of unbearable. But then it has sewn on, like, the legs from something else because it has 2 movement, or it has wings because it, you know, like, that sort of thing. And like I said, the game, the Corpsman, and I think it's the Corpsman, and then Impossible Creatures were like that, because the idea is that you were taking animals and then splicing them to create these monsters. I forgot Brute Worst, like, splits in half as part of its idle. Packers have been that way somewhat this season. Every preseason game was lopsided, opened the regular season on a loss after 3 straight non-games. I mean, preseason's irrelevant. I would go to preseason games if they weren't so damn expensive. Like, I can accept that regular season games are expensive. They shouldn't be as expensive as they are. But, like, alright, fine, they are. They are what they are. Economics and all that fun stuff. I understand how it works. But preseason. Most people don't even go to the damn preseason games, but they're still, like, $200 for, like, nosebleed seats. I could possibly go to the stadium the day of, and, like, people are trying to offload tickets or something, I guess. I don't know, because I haven't done this, but, like, I'm assuming that happens. But it's just, like, such an insane cost. I'm not driving, like, 3 or 4 hours to and then pay for parking to maybe get a ticket to then have the right to pay for, like, a $35 hot dog or a $67 beer or something like that, like, and then watch terrible football be played. Like, it's just bad. I can sit at home on my comfortable couch with my own refreshments, not have to drive and park. Also, Killerfrost is just cooking bad guy here, right? Dude, are you gonna do it again? Yikes. Dude, get wrecked. Wait, why didn't you leave it there and attack? Oh, Brute Worst is gonna die? Don't let Brute Worst die. Brute Worst has got to make it to the end. Should have probably parked at home, actually. Yeah. It's... You know, there might be public transportation that could take me all the way there, actually, now that I think about it. There might be. I'm not 100% sure. Protect the Brute Worst at all costs. Alright, bad guy's name sounds like it should be a phobie. It should be a mechanical phobie that's, or an undead phobie that's like an experiment. Fear number 221327. Dude, you're gonna muffin a... Yikes. Killerfrost, I feel like you're just bullying this person. I feel like you're just bullying this person at this stage. What? Why did you do that? The attack animation for Brute Worst is one of the dumbest in the game in a good way. Like, it is so stupid. Then again, everything about Brute Worst is just colossally insane. Why does Brute Worst get an expression on its, we'll say, face when it does the sweating animation like it's farting? Like, is the sweating animation supposed to be Brute Worst sharting? Like, he shouldn't have trusted that fart? Is that what's happening? The more I look at this thing, the more uncomfortable I am. Oh my god. Dude, this thing is connected with like 5 different phobies. Maybe only 4, but either way, it's definitely responsible for multiple kills at this stage. This is where I need a point redemption for like styling on him. Bad guy in shambles. I'm afraid to know if our hero outlevels them by like 1,000,000 levels. Brute Worst low-key good? No. I'm afraid, like, we're going to find out momentarily, so I'm not going to pause the game, but I kind of feel like our hero must be out-leveling bad guy by like 1,000,000. Admittedly, so here's the thing. So bad guy early in the game, like the first Brute Worst connection was probably enough to justify its existence when it connected with those 2 phobies. Cyclops and whatever the other one was. But the thing is, bad guy advanced so aggressively that our hero could have punished them with like probably just about anything. It did not have to be Brute Worst. It just chose to make it Brute Worst, which is admittedly excellent. Dude, if you don't finish this thing with Brute Worst, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be mad. Alright, they're setting it up explicitly so they can kill it with Brute Worst. Well played. Well played. Jesus. What's funny is the Brute Worst even got the connection with its ability, too. Alright, who was that? That was not the stress level difference that I was thinking it was here. 88 to 79. Like, yes, our hero had a stress level advantage at the time of this game, but it wasn't like, oh, they're 85 levels over them. It's just you know, a 9-level difference. That's not bad. Especially at that level. Like a 9-level difference when you're, you know, level 20 to level 11 or something, that might be significant because you probably just don't have that many phobies. That was actually pretty cool. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think this is our last game. For tonight. I didn't... You didn't see the profile. Even though everyone saw the profile. My bad. Spoilers. Whatever. Hero here is kingBastos once again. I was completely scared when I saw both a 3.0 and a Sparky on the board, but somehow I managed to win that game. Why did they have a Sparky and a 3.0? Kind of weird. A little weird. Chad, I'm going to try and do some live streams again this week from locals for Star Wars. Hopefully people come out, watch. I know there's not a lot of chat interaction, which I have been asking consistently, but nobody gives me any feedback as to like what they would like to see. On Wednesday, assuming I can go, you know, like nothing comes up, I'm going to try and go early so that I can stream some testing games, because there were a number of people that reached out and said that they wanted to test ahead of time. So hopefully we can get that done. That's a Doom. Not gonna lie, not a real big fan of this Doom here. Is our hero setting up a non-literal trap? I have to admit, I don't feel like I've seen Crushmore a lot lately. I feel like Crushmore has kind of fallen off. Most people are using, obviously, the Hevos for their various lobbing needs. And then you have access to Gravedigger for half the cost. So, it makes sense. Unlike this Flesh Crawler. I don't know, kingBastos and a number of other players seem to be fans of the updated Flesh Crawler. Does the Flesh Crawler in the back have a nose? Like, you can see the like, swinging head in the front here, but look at the one in the back. It has, like, a little nose sticking off of it. Is that supposed to be a nose? Alright, trade now 1 keys. A little bit of damage on other stuff. Forcing the Doom back. So I was thinking this earlier, and I guess it's worth commenting on that because of the presence of the Doom, it does influence where the Poison Ivy traps can go. So playing them more defensively like this, I guess, makes sense because, I mean, bad guy knows where they are. I don't know. There's really no reason to not burn the cooldown. Maybe you'd be better off placing them aggressively and then kind of taunting bad guy into committing the Doom and then blowing it up or something like that. Obviously, they would probably think of that and either just not send in the Doom or follow the Doom up with other stuff, but placing it defensively doesn't mean anything, because, like, Are they ever going to commit that Hevo to where the flesh crawler is right now? That's just not going to happen, right? Or any other phobie for that matter. So like this, if they commit, great, you can snipe the Doom probably? Or whatever else they send over there. But it looks like bad guys more interested in claiming the top center panic point, which I get it. I wonder what this map would be like if you could swing a snowball from one of the northern panic points to the other one without having to take a break on one of the fire tiles. Like if it was just more narrow at the top. Would that be better or worse? Alright, we're maxed out on our hero side. Only 4 keys remaining. Bad guys still with 9. I guess this is probably where we're going to see the Sparky. Which makes more sense now in response to the Oopsie Baby also being on the board. But the Oopsie Baby is a pretty decent answer to the Hevo. If it can connect and power it down, Hevo is neutered a significant amount. I wouldn't say entirely neutered, but as the Hevo player, you're not happy there. Okay, so I never noticed this before, and I have to pause so that people will watch it. Watch Oopsie Baby's idle animation and how much it moves. Not like a huge amount of movement, but it just like jiggles compared to everything else. Now, I get that it's filled with bugs, so I don't know if that's why, but like, it moves a lot compared to other phobies for like its breath animation. Alright, bad guy says, come at me, bro. What is the priority here? You can obviously get a big flesh crawler hit, but you can only get like half the team. We're going to juice the flesh crawler. We're going down to the south, going after the Sparky. 1,000 damage, by the way. Significant amount. But the snowball pulls the flesh crawler into range of the 2 lobbers. Jar to finish off the Sparky. Power down onto the Hevo. As mentioned, 31 damage. Well, it's going to do more than that, but like that's not a lot of damage. 1 key remaining. Significant threat up here still. But I imagine bad guy, do they have enough without committing too hard? Oh, the corn didn't kill it. You do need the Doom hit. But Doom can hit it pretty safely, and it does not look great for our hero here, especially with the Gonzo being down. And bad guy, of course, knows where all the traps are. So it's not as simple as just bait them in to come after it. Nice. The stimmed fireball allows the Crushmore to get cooked without causing a dimensional pull. You're getting time to heal things up. The Hevo will be back online relatively soon. That's aggressive with the Klepto, but despite the power down, the fireball... Oh no, it's not gonna get it? Yikes. I mean, you do get the Gonzo with the commit, and of course Doom doesn't get hit by the traps. I think our hero can capitalize on this, though, or should be able to. Do you have enough damage to kill the Hevo? Is that really enough? I guess with these 2 hits, this and the sock ass, and you'll get there. Trade and jar for the Hevo seems like a decent play. Hevo back in the fight, and all of a sudden, without the Hevo 3.0 on the other side, or as people may call it, the 9-key Hevo 1.0, team doesn't look great. Klepto is fairly healthy, though. I mean, Ivy is a significant melee threat. Power down on the Klepto. The big weakness for many, many things is making them do pretty much 0 damage. Who'da thunk it? Bad guy seemingly is gonna run? Oh, they're gonna try and push. Taking over our hero's healing spa, taking over their stim. But that requires all their movements, so that means our hero can just chase them down. Cannot kill the Klepto this turn, so it will get some retaliation hits. But this is simply a math thing. 3 Phobies to 2, even controlling 2 significant spas in, or tiles rather, in the form of the spa and the stim. Not going to be enough. And of course, you also have access to a potential power down pretty soon. Doom. Doom felt like it did have an impact on this game, but Doom's just not quite good enough. That being said, if Doom was never played, bad guy probably spends 5 keys to just, in 1 keys to activate traps, and possibly blunders into traps because they don't know where they are. That'll do it. GG. Well played. Well played. Alright, chat. Those are our 10 games for this week. If you're interested in getting your own games here on stream, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. All the instructions are in there. It's really not that hard. It's really not, I promise. You can do it. Is it rude to GG your opponent after a bad game? There was actually a discussion about that at a tournament I was at a few months ago, where a guy got very upset that, like, they lost. And the guy got very upset at the very concept of ever saying GG to your opponent, regardless of the outcome. And the guy was legit mad about it. And the rest of us are all kind of standing around like, it's just kind of, you know, the sportsman-like thing to do, even if it is a bad game. Make bad game a thing. People make it a thing even if it doesn't need to be, trust me. I don't think they need any encouragement to make that a thing. I think it's one of those that even if you know it's a bad game, you know, like especially in a card game, or if it was in Phobies and it's like, if there was chat and you way out level someone and like it's a bad game, you still say good game as a way of just like, okay, we're like closing this encounter and moving on to the next. We would need another transition phrase. Like, I don't think bad game is the answer. And people do fumble around with, oh, well, I just got lucky, or, you know, it's very fortunate for me that this happened, or that happened, or this didn't happen, or that didn't happen. But good game is a very succinct way to be like, all right, it is what it is. We're just moving on. We'll put this one behind us, so I don't know. But anyway, chat, we're going to close it up. We'll be back tomorrow, barring catastrophe. We'll be playing Space Marine 2. I'm very excited about it. truth be told. I'm going to try and record all of my offline playthroughs because I don't think I'm going to wait to only play it on stream. We'll see how it goes. But that's going to do it for tonight. As always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.